All right. Excuse me. Surprise pop-up live here. I'm just going to take a few moments and let that circulate a little bit. See if anybody wants to come and check out the live stream. Give a chance for notification to get around. I know it's a late one. It's about midnight here Eastern time. So I wasn't sure how many people might be on to come join. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the recent paranormal investigation I had with Spooky Matt and the cameraman and our adventure at Hill View Manor. Hello, Carrie. Thanks for joining. But I wanted to jump on and just kind of give everybody a little bit of an update, maybe talk about it a little bit, because I'm going to be dropping like a little surprise video with part of what happened at Hillview Manor. Hi, Christine. What's up? So that was pretty much the main goal of this little live stream, was to put that out there so you know it's coming. Most likely it's going to be tomorrow night as just a public video, just a like one portion of the investigation from Hillview Manor from the 22nd. And for me, it was probably the most, one of the most amazing things I've had happen to me yet. And it happened right there in that room you see in the thumbnail behind me. That's Anna's room. And I think you're all going to be pretty amazed at that. I know when the event happened there, it took me back to the feeling, and just everything reminded me of my very first, excuse me, my very first experience that I always talked about with the voice that spoke to me through the phone. This was at that level, what happened there. And I luckily captured this on video. And I say luckily because I was pretty much done in the room. I had a lot of activity, but the highlight of what happened actually occurred when I thought I turned off my camera and set it down and was packing up. What's that, Carrie? Just getting back to health. Oh, you're in the hospital. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you recover well. Hey, while you're sitting there, if you want to watch some videos, this will be a pretty good one for you to watch. But it's that segment from Anna's room in Hillview Manor, which is the first floor of Hillview Manor. I don't know if you've ever watched any of the groups or anybody who's been to Hillview Manor, because there's been so many. I mean, I think every mainstream and pretty much everybody from around the country go there because of the reputation. But that's Anna's room there. And I had an experience that, wow, was absolutely insane. And it happened when I thought I had my camera off. And when it occurred, it was so amazing. I just appreciated it and I was stunned. And then when I actually picked up my camera after I packed up my stuff and I realized my camera had been recording, and somehow I either turned it back on by mistake when I was handling my phone and my tripod, or something unexplainable happened and my phone recorded, and I actually caught the incident that happened. And I was excited. I was happy because I realized I most likely captured the event. And I'm going to be dropping that tomorrow. It's just going to be like a 23-minute segment. And it was just the encounter in Anna's room. There's a lot more to that because, we got that private investigation booked, and we spent quite a bit of day, like, half of a day there. And I got video from all over throughout, Hillview Manor, even though like I had what seems like a decent amount of time for the size of that place and to cover like all of the areas with all the activity. You would need like days there to do it. So I tried to get what I could in the hours that I had. So you're going to see some pretty interesting other parts of the manor. But that was Anna's room, and it was like one of those moments where I'm not sure what made me really go in there. Across from her room was Mary Virginia, who's probably one of the more famous rooms and resident spirits that still reside there. And I stopped down there because Spooky Matt was there. Hey, Ramona, Donce. Spooky Matt was over in Mary Virginia's room, and I just finished up somewhere else, and I was going to go to the same floor. And he was on the radio telling us about some things going on in her room. I think it was one of the necklaces was kind of moving for some reason on its own. So I'm like, well, let me go down there and see. And he was just finishing up in her room, and Anna's room is directly across. And we were getting out. Well, they were done, and I was going to be going to a different room. And I just saw Anna's room right across. And I just had a feeling, I looked at some of the information about Anna, and it talked about how Anna likes to go over to Mary Virginia because she gets all the attention. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in here in Anna's room and just visit and see if there's any kind of interaction. And wow, it was pretty amazing. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but I left a little gift for her, and I had like this big marble. It was like a big clear marble. It was something that I had gotten just from other people, like gifts to me, and I never really did anything with them, and I just felt like, you know what, I'm going to give her this big marble. So I gave it to her on her bed, and it's right, as you can see on the thing there. If you look, it's kind of like right down from the pillow, right where the bedspread's folded over at the top. I put it like right there. And I put a cat toy there just to see if maybe it was a trigger object, putting that marble there. And I had other devices, and it sparked something. I think the marble, I think she liked the marble and started to interact. And then it led to so much activity just started. Very cold spots, like amazing cold spots. I never felt anything so cold before. And that was a very hot day. I mean, it was very hot inside there. And Matt's sister was there, Ava, and she spent a little bit of time with me when I started to see what was going on in there. And she got to experience this cold area that came in around me. And she could feel it too. It was very cold. And I mean, it literally felt like an air conditioning like turned on and gusted right up my back. And I knew there was something to that. It was no breeze in there because that place is so big. There's no windows open. There's really no breezes. And then things spiraled, and it led to an event that was a disembodied voice. I'll just say that, a disembodied voice. And like I said, I luckily captured it. And it came from right over there by her bed. And I was standing right at the foot of the bed. And it sounded like somebody was right there talking to me. And it blew my mind. And I did capture it. And the whole experience was amazing. Wait till you guys see that. You're going to be blown away by what happened. And I'm going to be dropping that segment. It's like 23 minutes tomorrow. And I'm just going to make it public so everybody can see that. And then I'm going to be putting the rest, it's part of the entire investigation. That's all going to get put together, and that'll probably be out in a couple weeks. So you all get to see the full interaction, the full video from all of our time there. This was so amazing. I was like, I want everybody to see this, because this was just one of those encounters that, you just don't expect sometimes doing this. And when things happen, that's what I've noticed. Some of the more extreme things that are hard to believe that you don't expect, that's exactly when they happen. You just don't expect it. You had no idea it's coming. And then something like that, a disembodied voice talking to you, just happens. Or you're out in the woods and all of a sudden a rock just hits the tree. Like, you've seen in some of the other video, like the one I just did with the flashbacks. But this is one of those times when something just absolutely amazing and unexpected just surprises you, just happens. And I almost missed it, which, I mean, honestly, if I hadn't recorded it, which was somehow just luck, like I said, it was luck that I accidentally pressed record when I was setting my camera back down because I turned it off to pack up. So, it was either luck or there was something else going on with this encounter. And why I say there was so much going on that I think this whole encounter was just meant to be. There was a moment where a message from a woman came through my transcend theory. It said our video. And I really felt that was kind of like conveyed. It was like she was telling me that I want this to be our video. Like everything I'm doing, because we're on video. I want it to be on video. And it just like came together and it just blew my mind. I was like, wow, I'm like so much little things adding up to this, my camera somehow recording an incident that I turned it off and wouldn't have. And I thought I didn't. Somehow it was still on and all this happened. It was crazy. It was a lot more going on underneath than I realized. And it, climaxed in that room with a disembodied voice. And I don't want to spoil too much about it, but wait till you see it. Absolutely amazing. Hey, Marianne, you're up editing? Yeah, I know how that goes. That's what I've been doing. Like I said, we just did this Sunday. We were at Hill View Manor. So this was so amazing that I kind of jumped ahead to just this area of when I had this crazy encounter in Anna's room at Hill View Manor. And I made that a separate little video, and I'm going to spoil that out just from that encounter. So it's about 23 minutes. I'm going to drop it tomorrow, make it public. Probably right around 5 tomorrow, 5 or 6. And I want everybody to see it because it was amazing. But that was pretty much what the live stream was, because I just kind of want to put it out there so to expect that video, because, I usually keep a regular schedule of, a Saturday release of new videos. This is just going to be kind of a little something extra in the mix because of what just happened, and I want everybody to see it. Except Ramona. Okay, the coldness, the breeze was the man, and the young girl was between the bed and the table. Okay. Yeah, that was one heck of a cold spot. I even commented on it, and I said it was probably one of the coldest, like most distinct, like cold areas I've ever felt. And it was way more compelling because it was indoors in an area like that where there's no windows open, there's no doors open, there's no breezes at all on a hot, summer day, because it was very hot in there. I mean, it was a sweat fest. When you see it, you can tell I'm kind of like painted in sweat because it was hot in there. And I spent a lot of time on the 3rd floor, which is the hottest floor. So I was coming down from the 3rd floor, from a lot of time on the 3rd floor. So I was pretty heated. That cold area actually felt really good, but it was, I knew there was something else. There was a spirit, there was presence by me, because that cold area was like the coldest breeze, and just in an area where there's absolutely no way there would have been a breeze, especially just some cold random gust of air when there's no windows open, no doors open or anything. So how's this week going for everybody? Everybody hot enough yet? Because it's been hot here. I think this is that time of year. Temperature's starting to crank up around here. I know it was late. I sent messages out to the cameraman and Spooky Matt, but I know, with this time of night, it might be difficult. And I really didn't want to do anything crazy lengthwise tonight. I just kind of wanted to let everybody know about the incident because, to me, I absolutely want to share this with everybody, and I want everybody to see this because there was, like I said, the incident, the highlight, the event, the disembodied voice in that, being able to capture it I really felt like it shouldn't have happened, but it did. Somehow I accidentally hit record, like I said, when I turned my camera off. So 102 in Connecticut. Wow. Okay, Christine. Jeez. So it was a special encounter, and I think there was a lot to it, more than just right place, right time. I think there's a lot more going on, and that's why I wanted to show it. So you're going to get to see that little segment of the encounter in her room there. Yeah, 78. I think that's what it is now here too. Oh, and Wednesday I'll have the House on Owen Hill. That's going to be my next release. Wednesday's that's gonna be the the members early release, but that'll be the video that's going to be dropped public on Saturday. My next video. It's called The House on Owen Hill, and I did a little spoiler. If you happen to catch the Demon in the Forest video, I did spoil a little bit of that encounter at the beginning before it started, so maybe you got to see that. But that was one heck of an investigation at the house. Wait till you see that one too, because when it comes to like actual interaction with devices and things, that was one of the most active and crazy places that I've been. So much interaction with things. I captured some EVPs and what sounds like a disembodied voice from a little attic crawl area. Um, it's a lot of interesting and cool evidence you're going to see there, and some really cool things. I think it was Spooky Matt, myself, and T Mac, and my friend Trevor. Which there's some links to all these guys in that video. So if you want to, if you kind of want to check them out too, you can. Had a very interesting time there, and I think we're going to be going back. So you're going to see more of that place. That place was, just a little back history too. If you want to get an idea of what that place, the history of that place is, it was a family's home that had been passed down since the 20s, and it got passed down through the family until it got to the previous owner, the current owner, I should say, which was sometime around like 2008 from a T-Mac, if I remember right. And the previous tenants passed away in the home, including a renter, just before the person who owns it now took over. And the 4 people that passed away in the home all were basically in the same room. That's where they had passed away at. It's like the main living room area with the heater. But when the guy who owned the home now was a friend of T-Mac's, they were trying to remodel it and repair it, maybe to rent it or sell it. And they had such crazy, intense paranormal things that were scared the crap out of them. Let's just put it that way. Scared them so much, they left all the materials there. And the materials are still there. They really don't go back to that place at all, and they just left it abandoned. That's how bad some of the things were that they encountered there. And then there are other things too. There are people who hunted on the property that were friends of the family, had these crazy stories of things when they were out, and because it's got a decent chunk of land attached to it, and there's hunting allowed there, and they had friends and things that would go hunt, and they had these mimic experiences there. Hey, Corky's, what's up? What's up, Corky? But that mimic, we'll just call it a mimic because the accounts from the people who were there on the property hunting, and it was more than one, which is really, put something to it that maybe there is something going on there. They would hear their own voice say things like their name back to them. And it scared them while they were hunting so much that they hauled out of there. And like I said, T-Mac has these, he knows these firsthand accounts because he spoke to the homeowner, knows him, and got these firsthand accounts and passed them on to us. So that was kind of like just a rough backdrop to the house on Owen Hill. And it sure lived up to activity because I hadn't seen like activity like when you see it. If you've seen the spoiler, you've seen that example of some of the crazy interactions we had with the devices. But if you haven't, Wednesday, it'll be out if you're a member, which, when YouTube offered these paid memberships, they offered them starting at 99 cents, which is, what I started with too, because I figured, if they're going to let us offer these kind of memberships or encourage them, I'm just going to start at the basic. I'm not going to make it expensive, just 99 cents. And I thought I would do something for those who wanted to do that. And what I do is I drop the video on Wednesday for them to watch it until it goes public, which will be Saturday. So if you're not a member and you want to join, you'll get early access to the videos. And the House on Owen Hill will be up Wednesday for members and then public for everybody to see. So, it's just something extra, since YouTube lets these memberships happen for us. And I thought instead of just putting it out there for a donation, I might as well do something. That's why I do the videos early. So, but you'll like that video, House on Owen Hill. That was another really great encounter, and I'm looking forward to going back there. But more importantly, right now, tomorrow, wait till you see what happened at Hill View Manor. You guys are going to be blown away. I was. It left me like, it was a very impactful encounter. And what's weird is they talk about pet EVPs, right? I'm going to bring this up too, because this is something I got to do a little more research on, because I really didn't know much about some of the residents that were famous there, and Anna was one of them. Um, but they talk about some of the residents who had pets, and they have had their, because there's people that have been there for years and years, and they have their own, resident paranormal teams, and they've captured just about every kind of evidence you can imagine there. But they've captured EVPs of pets, right? And one of the things about Anna's room, which I don't know if you could see, but hanging across here, there's like some necklaces, and it seems like she has a lot of things with cardinals. Like there's a birdhouse hanging with a cardinal on it, and I think one inside. Um, then there's like a little cardinal that's hanging. There's another little cardinal that's hanging over like you can't see my hand, but it's like over here. There's a cardinal hanging down here that's like one of the wind up ones. And I was like, wow, you must like, birds. And I got this strange, like, it was an EVP. I'm almost 100%. I didn't hear it. And it sounds like a bird squawking. And that was very interesting because I heard that, hey, what's going on? Is that Harold? What's up? OCST? What's going on? And I think maybe I have to ask, since I started putting this together because I'd seen the birds, because I was interacting with the birds when I was there because I thought maybe she liked birds. Now I'm wondering if she actually had a pet bird, and that's why people leave her the birdie things there. And then that EVP with it definitely sounds like a bird squawking. And when you hear it, you'll probably recognize it. Maybe she did have a pet bird, and this was like one of those pet EVPs they talk about. So like there's in this 23-minute clip, there's a lot in it, and I left it completely uncut. The gap in it is when I turned off my camera and then it accidentally turns back on somehow. So that's the only like actual cut in it, but that's just because it's two separate video, clips. It's not an edit. But the entire investigation from when I went into a room to when I left is all uncut. I did repeat some of those things and amplify some of them to a little bit higher decibel level to hear them. But you're going to get the whole experience in there, and that's what I wanted everybody to see. So, I'm excited for you all to see that. So what's going on? How's it out there in Oklahoma? Harold, pretty nice out there? Hot like it is here? It's probably hotter. Not sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ramona. More activity if we go back there. Yeah, I would like to go back there. And now I feel like I somehow connected personally there with, I believe, if not Anna's spirit, which I feel mostly like it was Anna's spirit, someone there. So I'm looking forward to going back there again, even if it's just like a public tour, just to go back and visit again. Because the encounters there were directed towards me, and even the disembodied voice I talked about that you'll see that I captured in there was directed directly to me. So this was like a very intelligent interaction in there that led to the height of an actual disembodied voice speaking to me that was right next to me, came from that corner there of the bed. Was this corner is where I heard it from, and I was standing everything's backwards, so I'm like, but I was standing like right here by the foot of the bed. And then the voice that I heard was right by this corner, sounded like from the area of the bed right here. But you just have to see the entire thing. This was pretty amazing. Everybody had some great encounters there. The cameraman had some amazing things happen there. He captured, from what he was telling me, I haven't got to see much of what he captured yet, but I think he captured the spirit of the guy Bill on thermal from one West, that the new wing that they built there, Bill's room. From what it sounds like, he captured his spirit on thermal, peeking out of the room, from what it sounds like. But we'll, once he posts his evidence, you guys can check that out. And he told me a lot of other things that you guys will probably be pretty, amazed by what he captured. And I'm sure from what it sounds like, I will too. And Spooky Matt captured some crazy things. So we kind of like divided and conquered up the place. That gave us room to spread out. So we weren't really, making a lot of clutter and noise for each other. And there's a lot of room. So, we kind of worked it like that, and it worked out well. And we had a short time, it was a private tour that we got, but it was limited. So we made the best out of the time we were there. Yeah, our rain here too, same thing. Well, Corky, I don't know. The best thing I could, that I do is I talk to them, right? You do your best to communicate to them to, that they can't come with you. Sage, keep, if you have certain things that you feel protect you, keep those with you. And just verbal communication, right? Make sure that the spirits know whatever's there, spirit cryptids, whatever is there. Make sure they understand, the boundaries and vocalize that, and then disconnect. That's the one thing that I'm big with, that I felt was the one of the best things to do, right? Disconnect when you're done and you vocalize. You're ending, you're done. You're gonna disconnect. You vocalize to the spirits there that they can't come with you. They have to stay. They're not welcome to attach themselves to you or your equipment. And then you have to disconnect. Don't keep like trying to carry on little conversations or interact or do anything. You have to just shut it off. I think that right there is a big part to keeping anything from following you home, you could say. Right, Ramona? Keep your bare root handy, right, Ramona? Well, I just wanted to keep it short. Really, I wasn't gonna stay on too long. I know it was late, so I wasn't expecting the cameraman or Spooky Matt to join me right now. So that was it. Just wanted to give everybody a heads up, and if you're watching this recording coming back or at a later time, um, today, I guess you could say Tuesday, probably around 6 p.m. sometime around there. I'm just going to drop that interaction there from Anna's room at Hill View Manor and just let everybody see that. Hey, Sue. I'm sorry if you guys are just getting here late. If you want to rewind this and watch it, and you get the gist of what I'm talking about. But I'm going to drop a special segment from our Hill View Manor investigation tomorrow, so you can see the interaction that I had in Anna's room, and that's what the thumbnail is behind me. Yeah, and Bear Claw there, Ramona, she's got links. I have them all on my channel. If you go to my information, you'll find her there. If anybody's interested in medicine bags, if you want her to make you one, bless it, send you it, you can always reach out to her. Thanks, Corky. Well, that's really it. Just keep it short. I think I don't know if any of the other guys are going to do one or not about, a little Q&A or anything. I wouldn't mind doing another one maybe later this week. This wasn't necessarily like a Q&A type of thing. I just wanted to let everybody know about the video, just a surprise video tomorrow. But your guys are going to you have to see it. If you got the 23 minutes, squeeze it in and watch it, because, to me, I rewatched this. I keep rewatching this encounter. It's amazing to me. And, it definitely, there was more there than just a random encounter and a disembodied voice that had no meaning, right? And you'll see why I say that. There was some kind of direct connection with me in this room, and everything that was happening was in some kind of like harmony and meant to happen. And the camera thing just was more proof of that, and the messages lead to that, the interactions, everything, you'll see it. And then one hell of a disembodied voice speaking to me directly right by me and it only got captured on video because of the strange method, or however my camera got turned back on. So you can put all that together, but when you see it, you'll probably understand what I'm talking about. It'll be on YouTube tomorrow. Corky said I was going to drop it. It's ready. I just haven't released it yet because I wasn't sure, and that's why I'm doing this now, to let everybody know to look ahead for it. But it'll be public tomorrow, and you all get to see it. And you should be pretty amazed, because, I was blown. Even if I didn't, like I mentioned, I was absolutely just amazed at the interaction, and I thought I didn't record it. And it was just going to be one of those experiences, what I thought, right, that I was going to talk about and not be able to show, because and you'll see my reaction when I realized my camera was still on and I didn't know that. I was excited as hell, right? I was super excited. And then this is more like, you guys aren't going to believe this. All this after that, right? After the disembodied voice, and I realized my camera's recording, I got excited. And then there's this excited EVP of a woman's voice that like celebrates, and she's like, woohoo, right after I was letting out this like excited expression that my camera was on. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is me. I can't believe I left my camera on, or it was on somehow. And then you hear this woman's voice on an EVP. She's like, woohoo. And that's, I'm spoiling more of it, but I'm just kind of like giving you an idea of like how much was it really going on in this room. So much more than just this embodied voice, which is amazing in itself, but everything was, this was a very, very special interaction. And I can't wait for you guys to see this. Yeah, I felt very safe there. Like up until this point, what happened in this room, the guys were having some crazy things going on, and I was hearing some of their stuff because we all had our walkies on and things. And I was having some interesting messages and some activity, it was like building up, right? And it wasn't quite like getting overwhelming or crazy for me. And I was checking out a lot of areas. And then this interaction in Anna's room was just like, it just came to a climax. Like whatever was meant to be, whatever it was, if it was a buildup throughout the day that led to this or whatever it was, you guys are going to be pretty amazed at it. Kat, let's see. How you doing? See if there's anybody else that came in that I missed, but just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. So this was kind of a late one, but I just wanted to spread the word on what's coming. It was like, it's gone through transitions, right? I think this is probably one of the most famous places like that in the country for like paranormal encounters and experiences. But it had gone through a lot of changes in the years, and a lot of it had a darker side with, abuse and the people owning it and mass burying people that passed away and not relaying the actual like death and still collecting the insurance from the people, because a lot of these people didn't have family. It was like they called it like a poor house. There's a lot of history. I'd say go to Haunted Hill View Manor, or you can Google search them and you can read, or you could find a lot of the history, because there's a lot, there's a lot there. And then um, a lot of the more famous residents that were there, they kind of like have the homages set up for them, like in Anna's room here. Some of the things that she owned, a lot of these things in these rooms from the residents are all original things that they had. They didn't mess with it and they left it there. And people have left things for them, which are a lot of trinkets and things. But you can find Hillview Manor and you find things all day long, because every like ghost hunting crew that's like mainstream and going all the way back to Ghost Adventures have been here. Small, large, pretty much every team has gone here because of the history. So and I wasn't sure what to expect, but after that experience, wow, that was crazy. All right, well, thank you all. I think I passed on the good word of what's coming, and look for the video tomorrow. Said 23 minutes when it comes out. Share it too. I really would appreciate that, because I would like to get this video out of the ones I've done. I would like to see this one shared and get around, because I want people to see this. I sent it to the crew that runs Hillview Manor. I told them, if they want to put it on like their Facebook or somewhere with some of the encounters there, they could do that. But I would like to see this get around and let everybody see what happened when I was in this room, because if I didn't capture it on video, it would just be stories that you probably wouldn't believe. So, and like I said, luckily I captured the highlights of it on video unexpectedly, which is, it was part of the plan. And I think you'll see how that was conveyed also to me, that I think this whole encounter was like part of some kind of meant to be scenario or plan. Well, I guess that's it. Good night, everybody. Thanks again, and I'll see you all next time. Good night.